Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to Mr. Furlong, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2023. While this afternoon's awards assembly will recognize specific members of your class, it's actually a celebration of the entire class and all of your contributions and accomplishments during your time at the upper school. All of you have contributed your many talents and gifts in your own way to our community and played a significant leadership role in our school, and for that we thank you. After thoughtful and lengthy discussions, award recipients were selected by either the department to which the award pertains or the full faculty. I can honestly say that there were several strong candidates for each award. The task of choosing the eventual winner is always a difficult one. Today, seniors will be acknowledged for their excellence in academia, athletics, the arts, service, and character within this community. If your name is called, please come to the stairwell, receive your award from your presenter, and return to your seat. I've told this story a couple of times, but I think it's worth repeating. A couple of years ago, I attended an alumni event in Boston where I met a gentleman named Sheldon Buck from the class of 1954. We talked about the great teaching he received as a student here, and he asked me if great teaching was still the hallmark of the MKA education, and I confidently could tell him yes. I asked him who some of his great teachers were, and he said Mr. Barris and Mr. Miller, among others. Two people in whose names we will be presenting awards this afternoon. To me, that is a great example of what great teaching has always been and still remains a constant in the MKA education. And it is a new crop of teachers that will be honoring you this afternoon. Before we begin, I do have a few housekeeping details for you. First, we have to thank Mrs. Glazer, who made all of this possible today. The books, the flowers, the presentation, all the detail. I'd like to have Ms. Glazer come out and accept a small token of my appreciation. Now, as many of you know, our girls lacrosse team is playing Holy Spirit High School tonight for the non-public B state championship at 6 o'clock at Hunterdon Central High School. I will do my best not to be distracted by that during our presentations tonight. Not only has that impacted some of our athletes who will not be able to join us tonight, but some presenters like Coach Chelsea Goss, Todd Smith, and Inju Han as well, who will not be in attendance tonight because they are at the game. We will read all of the citations for those players tonight as written by each of those presenters. The ceremony is being recorded, so all winners and their families will be able to see this ceremony and share it with loved ones who might not have been able to make it tonight. I want to thank Mr. Valentine, who is here to read those presenters' speeches later in our program, and Coach White, who was originally not able to be here because of the track state championships that have now been moved to tomorrow, is now here to present the 12th grade Female Klein Award instead of Mr. Tony Jones. Commencement will be streamed live via MKA TV tomorrow. You have been sent the link, but you can always simply just tell your friends to go to YouTube and search MKA, and you will find the link for tomorrow's ceremony. Seniors, please arrive to the dining hall tomorrow by 3:30 and check in with Mr. Leather. To those families and friends coming to the ceremony tomorrow, the only way to enter the field is through Walden Gate, which is off of Walden Lot. We will not be opening that gate until 4 o'clock. The area by the gate and the walkway down to the gate from Lloyd Road must be cleared by 4:45, so please be in your seats by then. We look forward to celebrating with you tomorrow. I call your attention to the program where you'll find the awards, the presenters, and the citations listed. We're going to begin this afternoon's ceremony with some presentations of the Heads Awards. So the Heads Awards date back to Montclair Academy and are given annually to deserving seniors who make a significant positive contribution to the life of the upper school. After consultation with the upper school faculty, administrative team, and receiving nominations from the faculty and staff, the upper school head chooses those recipients. This year I'll be giving 6 Heads Awards. I will give 3 now and 3 at the end of Act 1. Mature beyond her years, our first Heads Award recipient offers our school a different perspective and has shared that perspective much to our benefit willingly with this community. From a Lebanese and Maronite Catholic family, she provides a different perspective and different norms to which to adhere. That perspective is invaluable in a diverse community whose mission is to engage with the world and understand human complexity. Around the building, she's a student who shows up for things. Described as a rock star, responsible and self-aware, she excelled in her role as a peer leader, where she strove to know each of her advisees truly. Her goal went far beyond their comfort, encouraging them to take some risks, to join activities they might not have tried before, because she knows that that's the key to success here. She has the same effect on the Arab Affinity Group, GLC, the Ethics Committee, and countless other clubs and organizations around the upper school. She took her talents 7,500 miles away from home during her junior year, studying at the African Leadership Academy as part of the School for Ethics and Global Leadership. She was described by those faculty there as a delight and a joy, praising her collaborative and supportive leadership as a ray of light, often guiding others along their own journeys. She'll likely engage with the world as she engaged with all of us, calmly, consistently, kindly, and in a manner that truly honors her commitments. Her legacy here will remain. I'm pleased to present a Heads Award to Laura Altiers. Driven by commitment to doing what is right, our next Heads awardee is receiving this award because of the person he is, rather than an accumulation of achievements, even though he has those too. Arriving here in 9th grade from the other side of the world and entering into an academic system for which he had no preparation, our awardee made it his mission at this school to try everything and to share his experiences with others to help them make the transition to high school. With a sense of humility unmatched by his peers, a special charisma, and a personal sense of ethics and integrity, he has drawn people to him. His classmates respect what he says and look to him for guidance in figuring out how to operate in their challenging world, because they know that he'll always be putting the group first, looking to raise everyone up around him, not just elevate himself. Conscientiously attentive to his responsibilities as a student athlete, a student of color, and thought leader in this building, he has also excelled as a leader on the soccer field. His coach, Mr. Leather, calls him the most team-first player I have ever worked with. For our awardee, it's all about working with his teammates, ensuring that they're comfortable and confident on the field, sort of like in the school building as well. I'm pleased to present a Heads Award to the warm and welcoming Julian Coviello. her advisor as simply a joy to be around because she is so joyful herself, our next Heads Award recipient often smiles, spreading her warmth to anyone who wants to receive it. She's all in, all the time, whether in the classroom, the theater, an advisor group activity, or a house competition. You can count on our awardee to participate enthusiastically and wholeheartedly. Many teenagers aren't as comfortable with being themselves and expressing themselves authentically as she does daily in every situation. In a world where high school students are overwhelmed, stressed out, and obsessed with building a resume that will get them into a top school, our awardee's approach to learning is a breath of fresh air. She's always guided by her intellectual interests and creative talents, rather than how something might look on her transcript or resume. She's a leader in the Jewish Cultural Society, captain of the math team, member of library leadership, and speech and debate. She's committed to the arts, both visual and performing. She gives selflessly in her classes, exhibiting deep intellectual curiosity, fearlessness when taking intellectual risks, and true appreciation for intellectual discourse and dialogue. Her teachers across the board have commented on how instrumental she was in generating discussion or pushing her classmates to consider alternate perspectives, or simply by making everyone feel valued and welcome. She's a giver in every sense of the word. I'm pleased to present a Heads Award to Rose Friedman.
The Latin Prize. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Jacobs, Chair and Latin teacher and Spanish teacher in the World Languages Department. This year's Latin Prize winner is a diligent and dedicated student, a serious and methodical scholar with a wide range of interests in the classics and across the arts and sciences in general. During his time in our Latin program, this student has excelled in all aspects of the study of the Latin language and Roman culture, from the adventures of the Cornelians at Baiae in Rome to the AP selections from Caesar's Bellum Gallicum and Virgil's Aeneid, from All of Gaul is divided into 3 parts to I Sing of Arms in a Minute. Without fail, this student was always not only prepared for class, but also eager to deconstruct the text and understand it as a linguistic and a cultural artifact. Last year in Latin 3 Honors, this student undertook a sophisticated and insightful analysis of the evolution of the Greek alphabet for the Independent Research Project. This year, he produced equally thoughtful and original analyses of important moments from our readings in the Bellum Gallicum and the Aeneid. A true linguist at heart, this student has also studied Greek and Sanskrit and worked on indigenous languages for his major. Outside the classroom, this student has served as leader for the MKA chapter of the Junior Classical League, our Latin club, as well as for our Linguistics Club. In recognition of his achievements in the classics, including 3 gold medals on the National Latin exam, please join me in congratulating this year's Latin Prize winner, Michael Kai.
This year's Spanish award recipient can be described with many adjectives, but I chose 5. Self-disciplined, observant, focused, invested, and articulate. Self-disciplined. During the 2 years I taught this student, she stood out to me as someone interested in learning languages, not only for a graduation requirement, but also to better understand how to communicate in it. This student grew and matured in terms of her depth of thought and ability to produce high-quality work, never wanting to plateau in her abilities. Observant. In a course where comparisons among communities is essential, throughout the year, this awardee easily made connections across cultures and disciplines, finding ways to see commonalities and appreciate differences, and becoming even more proud of her own heritage. focused, and invested. No matter what was going on in her personal life or at school, this student never lost sight of her responsibilities as an AP student, and she used every opportunity she had to improve her already strong language skills, and she gave her best right up to the very end. Despite having a personal connection to a Spanish-speaking community, this winner always looked to learn more about her own community as well as others. Lastly, articulate. The ease with which this recipient could express her ideas while using complex grammatical structures demonstrated her growth throughout her 4 years at MKA and shows how hard work and dedication can help you achieve your goals both in school and on the field. So, what do self-disciplined, observant, focused, invested, and articulate spell? This year's prize winner, Sofia Venesco.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to present the exceptional achievement of this award winner in our MKA Chinese program. She's truly gone above and beyond in her studies of the Chinese language, excelling in both of her AP and post-AP classes, and demonstrating an outstanding mastery of the language. However, her achievements extend beyond the classroom. She worked as a teaching assistant in our nationally selected Bingma Yong program with the Terracotta Warrior Museum and won a scholarship from Xidian University in China. She participated in the New Jersey Chinese Culture Research Contest and helped the MKA team earn second place in the state. She also organized the MKA Pampo program with our sister school in China, showcasing her passion for Chinese culture and her commitment to promoting cultural exchange and understanding. The most inspiring of all is the way that our award winner has used her experiences in our program to find her own identity and to inspire confidence and self-discovery in others. Under her leadership and guidance, MKA's performance of the Asian folk dance in the local Lunar New Year celebration event organized by AAPI Montclair raised the awareness of the beauty and richness of the East culture and spread the message of cultural diversity and inclusivity to the wider community. So please join me in congratulating this year's Chinese award winner, Zhou Chuhan, Gianna Zhou.
Today, as I stand before you, to offer my sincere congratulations to an extraordinary student and to celebrate their unwavering determination, resilience, and incredible commitment to success in the French language. Learning a new language can be an arduous journey, filled with many twists and turns. It requires dedication, tenacity, and the willingness to embrace the unfamiliar. But this student had found their passion. They quickly realized the opportunities the French acquisition would present far beyond the classroom, and the wide doors that learning a language would open on their journey to achieving their dreams. As the self-doubts turned into a thirst to learn, and uncertainties turned into quests for answers, they fully embodied the spirit of a language learner and discovered the true meaning of learning, the growth of the mind and the expansion of one's horizons. They have reminded us through their journey that success is not merely measured by immediate results, but by the willingness to rise above setbacks and continue striving for excellence. Today, as we applaud this exceptional student, let us not only celebrate their achievement, but also acknowledge the importance of perseverance in the pursuit of true passion. May this story serve as a reminder to us all that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities to grow, and that with diligence, hard work, and true devotion, anything is possible. I am incredibly proud to give out this award today to this outstanding student of French. May their journey continue to inspire others to never give up, always strive for greatness, and embrace the beauty of learning. Congratulations, Josh Talcott.
Tonight I have the pleasure to present the William Miller Prize in Science, which is awarded to the student who has demonstrated the greatest academic excellence in science. This student's transcript looks like a list of the most advanced and challenging STEM courses offered at MKA, including both AP Chemistry and AP Physics with Calculus this year. In all of these classes, he has performed exceptionally well and earned top grades. He is confident in his abilities and clearly unafraid of a challenge. His AP Physics 1 teacher said, "He is very skillful at taking concepts, poking and prodding at them, and wondering what happens if you stretch them to the extreme." His AP Physics with Calculus teacher says, "Often when the rest of the class was stumped, I could rely on him to chime in with a strategy to get the class to the right answer." From my own experience, as well as hearing from his other science teachers, I know that this student thinks deeply and grasps complicated concepts quickly. His approach to problem solving is both creative and methodical, and he has the impressive ability to make connections across courses and across subjects. These are all qualities that I think will serve him very well in his future studies and his career. Please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of the Miller Prize, Aiden Szilagyi.
Hello. Today, I have the pleasure of presenting the Downsboro Award. This award, which is given jointly by the Math and Science Department, is intended to recognize high achievement in both fields. This year's recipient certainly has accomplished this. She has been unabashedly successful in our most challenging math and science courses, willing to take on academic challenges that may seem daunting to others. In the past 2 years, her course load has included 2 years of AP Physics, AP Calculus, AP Statistics, and post-AP Multivariable Calculus. What her teachers find most noteworthy about this student is her quiet confidence in her abilities and her humility. She is detail-oriented, disciplined, and methodical in her problem solving. Her ability to prioritize what matters most to her distinguishes her from many of her peers. In AP Physics, I was continually impressed with her abilities to take a complex problem and break it down into core ideas. These habits of the mind exemplify the qualities of a good scientist. This recipient was always ready to share her thoughts with her classmates, and if she saw someone struggling, was happy to offer her suggestions and guidance. This student has a beautiful way of asking a directed question or making a comment that could bring clarity to other students' understanding. This student's presence in our community serves as a powerful example and an inspiration for others. So please join me in congratulating this year's Downsboro recipient, Lucy Wexler. This evening, I also have the pleasure of presenting the Margaret Jenkins Osborne Prize for Excellence in Science. What stands out to me most about this recipient is that he asks really big, interesting questions. His natural curiosity about the world is coupled with creativity, the ability to think critically, and make connections between ideas. His love of science is obvious, both in the classes that he took, which include AP Biology, AP Chemistry, and 2 years of AP Physics, and in the joy he exhibits when discussing topics such as nuclear fusion, the possibility of colonizing Mars, or the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. His teachers note that this student is a genuinely curious person who approached every class with positive energy, that he has a joy of learning, and that he's someone who's always thinking about what he wants to learn more about. In AP Physics, this student exhibited a warmth and a humor that drew everyone in. He is a natural collaborator and leader whose ideas have sparked spirited class debates. At the end of discussions, everyone walked away energized, inspired, and wanting to learn more. My conversations with this student have been equally engaging. Early in the year, he came to me wanting to learn more about the Higgs particle. He turned his interest in particle physics into a May-term project in which he studied quantum field theory and used what he learned to host a podcast with his peers. I really look forward to seeing what opportunities this student will tackle next. Please join me in congratulating this year's Osborne Prize recipient, Trent Bednar.
Good evening. While Elvis Presley was a national figure called the King of Pop, King of Rock and Roll, John Philip Sousa was equally popular in the late 1800s and early 1900s, where he was referred to across the world as the March King. Sousa composed over 130 marches. He played the violin, piano, flute, and several brass instruments. He even invented a wraparound tuba called the sousaphone. Like Sousa, our award winner is an outstanding musician who's comfortable playing many instruments. He played French horn at a very high level in our concert band. He played mellophone and was a tri-captain of our newly reinstated pep band. And in our jazz band, he played all the first trombone parts on French horn. But beyond room A11 in Weiss Auditorium, our awardee was a member of a working rock band. He played guitar, bass, keyboard, and he sang. He was a complete musician with an understanding of musical elements that reach far beyond the typical upper school band member. As you know, a band is a collaborative union of artists that create beauty together. Band members must be committed to attending all rehearsals, coming prepared, and giving 100% while rehearsing. Our winner of the Sousa Award was that ideal band member. He balanced a challenging academic load with MKA cross country, track and field, visual arts projects, and his outside rock band. He attended every MKA band rehearsal, he came prepared, and he worked as hard as anyone. It is my great honor to present the John Philip Sousa Band Award to Oliver Chang. Never play anything the same way twice. Never play anything the same way twice. This quote from Louis Armstrong is a fundamental tenet of jazz. We play a melody intact, and then we recreate it as we improvise based on what we're hearing and what we're feeling. Our winner of the Louis Armstrong Award has been a creative soloist time after time, and in our MKA Spring Concert, he was featured on 2 songs, Fancy Dan and Moanin'. In any jazz piece, rock, Latin piece, I could turn to him in a moment's notice for a solo that was creative, swinging, and inside the harmonic changes. And like Louis Armstrong said, he never played anything the same way twice. When Wynton Marsalis and Isaiah J. Thompson worked with our MKA Jazz Band this spring, they zoomed in on this awardee right away because they knew he was playing at such a high level. When we had clinicians visit and work with the band from the Jazz House Kids, they also challenged this student, and again, he rose to the occasion. Our awardee is gifted, smart, but he's wise enough to be humble and to know that all artists are on a journey of learning and growing. He's wise enough to know that he can and must learn in all settings. Finally, as strong as the recipient was musically, he was kind to all of our students. Whether a rookie 9th grader or an experienced 11th grader, he brought a positive attitude and a love for jazz to every rehearsal. It is my complete pleasure to name Rafi Aronson as the 2020 recipient.
The Visual Arts Award is given to the senior who has distinguished themselves with outstanding technique and skill in their craft, finds joy and demonstrates determination in art making, and has stayed true to their individual style and voice. This award has 2 recipients tonight. This student has had some of the most experimental approaches to projects that I have ever encountered in my classroom. She is brave and adventurous in her process, embraces risks, and is enthusiastic about trying new mediums and techniques. Her artwork this year reeled you in, sparked curiosity, and captivated an emotional charge. She spent the year tackling the portrayal of guilt while matching her ideas with different materials to follow a theme of internal thoughts and experiences. Her processes in pursuit of this involved making her own watercolor paint on the weekend from boiled fruit, embedding her photographs directly into her paintings, drawing on top of found shells, involving her classmates as subjects in her work, and at one point even collected dirt from the backyard of our campus to add a little bit of texture to her paint. I would assign projects and eagerly await the unique perspective that her wonderfully spontaneous mind would bring to the table. Needless to say, you can truly give the student any type of material to create something and she will not disappoint. She is somebody who prioritizes the enjoyment of the creative process and fearlessly embarks on a new start if she's not having fun. I'm proud of the young artist that she has become and in her years with us, and I look forward to seeing how she harnesses her artistic talents beyond MKA. She can't be here to accept this award tonight because she is playing a game currently, but congratulations, Sophia Eichmann. Our second award recipients, our artistic skills have been recognized all throughout the upper school. You may have seen her behind an easel, live drawing during band concerts, or raising awareness of endangered species through paintings that you can see yourself in, creating large-scale paintings that responded to stories from her political theory class, repurposing wood from theater productions to create a 15-work portfolio aiming to understand the healing process and the reconstruction of memory after experiencing trauma. Perhaps you have heard her singing along to Queen as she helped me paint the theater sets, or recognized her amazing original paintings exhibited on the walls of those sets that she later performed on. Yes, she's a talented actor and writer too. She was drafting up new art projects until the very last day of school, known as her many, many May terms. Anyone who knows her knows that she has no shortage of creative energy or interesting stories to tell, both in visual or verbal form. Also a big hockey fan, she shared an intriguing story a week ago about Tuukka Rask, a hockey goalie who miraculously blocked a cannonball fired from an actual cannon. As I listened, I couldn't help but draw parallels between this incredible feat and the profound impact that the student has had on the fine and performing arts area here. In just 2 short years, only 2, she has accomplished an extraordinary amount and achieved what many would deem impossible. We look forward to reading her future books, but also admiring the designs on their covers. Congratulations, Logan Furlong. Cuneo Award is named for Tony Cuneo, drawing, painting, and photography teacher at MKA from 1988 to 2018. Talented in a variety of disciplines, Tony's sense of humor, high intellect, knowledge of, and devotion to the visual arts and pedagogy informed all of his work, whether it was in paint, through a lens, or as a mentor to the thousands of students that he taught at MKA. Many at MKA know this student for his vibrant personality, infectious energy, and most recently his incredible 7-foot-tall painting on the wall of the studio that everyone asks me about. If you share a classroom with a student, there's a solid chance that you've roared with laughter and had nothing short of a positive experience. Many students of all grade levels know him personally because he noticed their artwork and boosted their confidence by personally expressing how talented they were, as celebrating new art and hard work just comes naturally to him. He was no stranger to the studio and would fly in during passing time to snap progress photos just so he could plan his next moves when he didn't have a paintbrush in his hand. I was fortunate to have had this student in class for 3 years now and have watched him develop into a confident, dedicated, challenge-seeking young artist and designer. These days, the student drafts up proportional figure sketches within minutes and paints with a level of detail that rivals the quality found in museums. He's developed fashion illustrations, designs, and costumes for numerous plays here at the upper school, a huge responsibility that required dedication, persistence, quick thinking, and impeccable craftsmanship, and he rose to the occasion every time. His fellow students were proud to wear his beautiful original costumes. His future campus lucked out big time, and he's made the last 4 years at MKA unforgettable. Congratulations, Cooper Critchley.
The Vocal Music Award is given to a senior who has distinguished themselves with outstanding technique, skill, musical aptitude, and expression. This student demonstrates exemplary work in ensemble and solo singing. This recipient possesses a wide vocal range, and he is successful and accomplished in various music settings. His dedication and strong work ethic in the vocal music program has defined his musical contributions at the upper school. He approaches each piece of music with great energy. He takes direction and feedback well and applies it right away. A truly versatile singer who has the ability to switch styles of jazz, classical, and musical theater songs given at any tempo, whether fast or slow. He's entertained our MKA audiences over the years in countless performances. In every performance, he was sure to strive for his very best work. He was beyond his years in being able to connect and show great character in all of the music he studied and performed. As a teacher, it's been wonderful to watch him excel and grow during his time in the vocal music program. To work hard, learn and perform substantial music repertoire, combined with being able to laugh along the educational journey, has molded this young man into a remarkable student musician and singer. I proudly present this year's Vocal Music Award to Warren Roth.
The Dance Award. To become an incredible dancer whose performances are remembered, you need a great deal of technical skill, but you also need the confidence to back that up. Confidence is what creates the presence that the audience can't help but watch. After almost 20 years of teaching dancers, I think the latter is even harder to teach than the former. When this dancer started with me, I was immediately drawn to her talent. The beauty of her movement lines, the athleticism of her jumps, the elegance of her extensions. She also brought a fun, enthusiastic energy with her into the studio each class, which only added to her ability and growth. Despite all this, She was her own worst enemy when it came to confidence, never fully believing in herself. I would talk about her constant growth, she would argue back about her weaknesses. We had several heart-to-hearts over the years where I would tell her to stop looking at the other dancers or the mirror and just trust herself. Trust the talent I could see was there. Thankfully, by the start of her senior year, she finally really heard me. The quiet, shy 9th grader would not believe me if I had told her that by her senior year, she would be doing not 1, but 2 solos in our concert, with no one to rely on but herself and her artistry. But that was her art here, one I am so proud of, and I hope she is too. I am pleased to present this year's Dance Award to Ariana Oladepo. The Marilyn Faden Awards for Theater, Technical Theater. I am always amazed at the students who run crew for the shows. First, they are the calmest people in a room full of drama and chaos. Second, they receive no big applause for their work. They do their job, quite honestly the hardest job, just out of love for the theater, for the process. Now, the person who runs the whole crew, well, they are next level. As I tell the cast over and over, they are the ones really making it all happen. Their tasks are so varied that it's crazy. They write down blocking, facilitate rehearsal movements, keep track of sets and props, run the boards, you name it. It just shows how multi-talented they are. I've always been proud of the fact that there is no adult backstage during a show, no matter how large a production it is. That is not the norm in high school theater, but we're able to do it here because of the caliber of student crew we have and the quality of the leaders of them. This recipient knew what I was going to ask for before the words even left my mouth, and she just made it happen. She kept things running smoothly with constant patience, a sense of humor, wonderful energy, and enthusiasm. And that's why I had a saying this musical season: when things get tough, go get Mona. I am pleased to present this year's Technical Theater Award to Mona Marshall. The Deacon Drama Award. Many people think it's difficult to perform in a big theater like Weiss, which it surely is. But the reality is, performing in our black box theater, now that's hard. The audience is right there with you the entire show. There is no room for error, no room to check out for even a moment. Every tiny detail is seen and heard by all. We put the entire show up in less than 6 weeks, and the actors have to be so prepared that nothing can throw them. This actor was a master at this. If she was ever nervous, in auditions, rehearsals, or performances, no one could ever tell. She was able to appear calm and confident and give us her signature sly smile at the precise, perfect moment for it every time. From a director's standpoint, I loved working with her. She never complained, was always on time and ready to work. She brings ideas in every day to add depth and detail to her role. She would also bring her usual fun energy and witty comments, which made us all smile and laugh, an amazing help to the overall atmosphere of any production. She has a quiet way about her, which I think helps her fly under the radar, which is what she prefers. But anyone who has ever been in her presence when she is on stage knows she couldn't fly under the radar there if she tried. Her talent shines too brightly for that. I am pleased to present this year's Deacon Drama Award to Taylor Powell. Lastly, the Marilyn Faden Award for Musical Theater. She walked into callbacks for the musical her junior year and read the first line of the scene, and I immediately thought, that is exactly how I want that character to sound. Then she sang, and the whole table just said, yep, there it is. I think that kind of became our anthem for her. We would watch her do a scene or listen to her work a song and think, there it is. She just gets it. She makes choices, makes the role hers while still fitting into the overall vision. She has a strong presence while never stealing if it isn't her character's moment. These are traits that are hard to teach, but we never had to teach her. They are innate to her. She became an audience favorite in her junior year as Charlotte in Cinderella. But then as Smitty in her senior year, she cemented her legacy here as one of our musical theater powerhouses. Everyone adores working with her as she is the consummate professional, rare for a teenager. And on top of all that, she's a lovely human being. She is humble and kind, hardworking and honest. You put all of those traits together and you get what every professional director is looking for, which is why we won't be shocked when they start scooping her up after college. I just hope I get a front row seat when they do. I am pleased to present this year's Marilyn Faden Musical Theater Award to Madeline Cole.
There are many reasons to award this student the History Prize. The most obvious might be that he is one of the most talented and accomplished student historians I have taught. Over the past 2 years, he has written 3 major history research papers. His junior thesis on Orientalism awarded high research distinction and published in our journal, The Primary Source, as well as 2 independent studies, a paper on vaccine diplomacy during the Cold War that was named one of the top 10 papers nationally at last year's National History Day competition, and most recently, a paper on cultural diplomacy during the Cold War that was one of 2 New Jersey papers selected for the national competition, which will be held next week. However, the deeper reason is because of the combination of passion and humility he brings to his study of history, and of where his ambitions stem from, his belief in the power of understanding history. No one can speak better about the student's sense of purpose in studying history than the student himself. After my research, my conviction is that if we can all respect one another's cultures, we can break down the borders we have built around ourselves along race, gender, class, and other arbitrary lines. With a better mutual understanding of one another, we can better unite our front on fundamental human values such as freedom, peace, and happiness. We are lucky to have an academic of this student's caliber that understands the power of historical study and research, the discipline, and all of us are better for it. It is my absolute privilege to award this year's History Prize to Julian Huff. It is also my honor to read this citation for the John Rabus History Prize, written by History Department member Jeff Brannigan, on behalf of the entire History Department. Jack Rabus was a longtime beloved history teacher at MKA, with a keen interest in all aspects of politics, government, and leadership. Tonight's recipient of the prize named for Jack and established by his wife, former head of primary school Barbara Rabus, hauntingly embodies much of what made Jack special. He is passionate about political and economic ideas, engaging anyone he can, at any time he can, in any available venue or setting in conversation discussion. His knowledge of the field is remarkable, but no more remarkable than his hunger to learn, to find those who think differently than he does, to grow intellectually, and to remain committed to open discourse, even when it may be difficult. This can be rare in a contemporary culture that has become coarse, divisive, and closed to the notions that one might not be infallible, and that there may be value in ideas we disagree with. He is a young man who shares his uncommon wisdom with others, including mentoring one sophomore this year on the ins and outs of ordoliberalism. My discussions with him have been enormously gratifying and affirming for me over the past 2 years. And it's with all this in mind that the History Department is proud, just as Jack and Barbara would be, to present this year's Jack Rabus History Prize to senior Nick Baum.
It is not hyperbole to say this student is one of the finest English scholars I have ever had the pleasure to teach. He is a voracious reader. His written work, literary analysis, prose, poetry, it doesn't matter, is daring. It is sumptuously articulated. He is unrivaled in his ability to elevate a conversation, and yet he never dominates it. He understands the value of listening carefully, absorbing the contributions of others, and then honing those ideas in his own mind in order to deepen his own understanding. But his role as a student of literature extends far beyond the boundaries of the classroom and beyond the pages he reads from and writes upon. In his 4 years at MKA, he has continuously used his powerful literary voice to bring context and awareness and beauty to countless facets of our community. More than anything else, he understands the power words have to transform our reality. He has used his art to shape and hone his life, and in so doing, he has helped to transform ours as well. For a teacher, there is no greater honor than to witness that kind of wisdom grow in a student. It is my great pleasure to present this year's Barris Award to Clay Hudson.
The most important mathematical insights can seem remarkably simple in hindsight. For example, Mayan mathematicians understood the concept of zero several thousand years before Europeans did. This critical insight allowed them to develop a calendar capable of accurately measuring millions of years into the future. Our recipient of this year's Nazarian Prize appreciates the beauty in such elegant mathematical brilliance, taking every opportunity to share his intellectual curiosity with others. Accomplished, yet humble, our recipient excelled in his coursework, taking every AP and post-AP course in math and computer science offered at MKA, though his most impressive achievements go well beyond our curriculum. Mathematics can sometimes be a very solitary activity, hours spent alone working through complicated analysis with just pencil and paper. While our recipient has put in hours of practice, he also has a profound sense of a more contemporary aspect of mathematics, a collaborative endeavor that relies on cutting-edge technology and that can have a positive impact on our world. During May term, our recipient applies his abilities to create one of the world's first online translators of several indigenous languages. Combining his passions for mathematics, computer science, and linguistics, his project used machine learning to manipulate and optimize the interactions between vectors with hundreds of dimensions. What impresses me most about his project is its social value, an application that has the potential to preserve and highlight several endangered languages. For providing an inspiring example of the good that mathematics can do, this year's Nazarian Prize is awarded to Michael Tsai.
So this is the era of adjustment. I hope you like the Laura Altier speech, because you're going to hear it again. Just, unfortunately, has a last name that begins with A, which is why I read it first. Mature beyond her years, our next Heads Award recipient offers our school, a unique perspective, and has shared that perspective much to our benefit willingly with this community. From a Lebanese and Maronite Catholic family, she provided a different perspective and different norms to which to adhere. That perspective is invaluable in a diverse community whose mission is to engage with the world and understand human complexity. Around the building, she's a student who shows up for things, described as a rock star and responsible and self-aware. She excelled in her role as a peer leader where she strove to know each of her advisees truly. Her goal went far beyond their comfort, encouraging them to take some risks and join activities they might not have tried before because she knows that's the key to success here. She has the same effect on the Arab Affinity Group, GLC, Ethics Committee, and countless other clubs and organizations. She took her talents 7,500 miles away her junior year, studying at the African Leadership Academy as a part of the School for Ethics and Global Leadership. She was described by those faculty as a delight and a joy, praising her collaborative and supportive leadership as a ray of light, often guiding others along their own journeys. She'll likely engage with the world as she is engaged with all of us, calmly, consistently, kindly, and in a manner that truly honors her commitments. Her legacy here will remain. I'm pleased to award a Heads Award to Laura Altiers. Our next Heads Award recipient is a model student and community member. She's taken advantage of every resource and every opportunity here to explore her academic and extracurricular interests, to make friends, to develop relationships with her teachers that extend beyond what might be going on in the classroom, and to share her interests and talents with our community. She recognizes the value of her MKA education and sees herself not just as the recipient of it, but rather as an active participant in it, making the lives of those around her better. Our awardee has shared her story and her time through volunteering as an epilepsy awareness ambassador and as a Walk to End epilepsy recruitment coordinator. She is seizure first aid certified and mentors younger children who also have epilepsy, helping them to run their own fundraising efforts too. As a 2-year team leader for the walk, she's raised over $6,000 to date, and just last month she organized a joint a cappella concert with Montclair High School to raise money and awareness for the Epilepsy Foundation, proving that our two schools have more in common than not. Her list of accomplishments inside these halls is equally impressive. Seemingly, she's everywhere. A tennis captain, peer tutor, member of Global Feminism, Remix, Global Leadership Committee, Safe Zone, ENACT, and Student Council for the Arts. She gives of her time selflessly to make MKA a better place, and we are so grateful. I'm pleased to present a Heads Award to Caitlin Jeffrey. We are going to take a short break to change presenters only, so stand up and stretch, but don't leave your seats because you'll miss it. Okay, presenters, you may come out. Thank you. So our next winner of the Heads Award has it all. She's kind, determined, resilient, socially intelligent, academically excellent, and has integrity. Blessed with boundless energy and the willingness to demonstrate it all the time, she brings excitement to the building that spreads easily to those around her. A glass half full type of young woman, it's rare ever to see her down. She sees almost every situation with a positive outlook and tries to bring that positivity into the world. She chose to take this energy out on the road when she studied at the High Mountain Institute in Colorado during the first semester of her junior year. The courage to do this was immeasurable, as the trip presented challenges that many of her classmates were not faced with, academically, socially, physically. For her to have been so successful across all areas is a triumph. That willingness to step out of her comfort zone and have a positive outlook on life made her an obvious peer leader choice and co-chair of MKA's Student Diversity Leadership Committee. She cares for her peers and she loves the school. Her willingness to be her authentic self endears others to her and gives her the political capital to get things done. She is constantly praised for her hard work, engaged approach, and collaborative efforts with her peers. She's made us better and will undoubtedly do the same next year and beyond. I am so pleased to present a Heads Award to Kira Rashid. So our final Heads Award goes to someone you would be hard-pressed to find anyone in the MKA community who would disagree with this following statement: that our school isn't more inclusive today than it was when she started. Our last winner of the Heads Award is a big reason why. Described by my colleagues as confident yet humble, hardworking and dedicated, mature while not taking herself too seriously, and warm and welcoming, our awardee is truly an outstanding young woman, respected by her peers, her teachers, for her inclusive leadership style, many talents, and strong character. She's a leader throughout our building. As a peer leader, she's been described as an absolute standout, warm, friendly, outgoing, and she takes action. She doesn't wait to be told what to do. A voice for female equality, she's a model for young women and men in our community. She's not afraid to speak her mind, call someone out if needed, and can handle a lot of responsibility. Her commitment to our cheer team has been particularly noteworthy. Mrs. Brannigan, who works closely with our awardee on the executive committee, shares that she has been a leader who threads the needle between supporting students through tough situations and upholding MKA's standards. The integrity of the institution as well as her own are important to her. There are many stories of our awardee making her classmates, regardless of how popular or cool they are, feel as if they are the most important person in our awardee's universe. I'm very pleased to present a Heads Award to Morgan Riley.
The Klein Award celebrates dedicated student athletes who exude positivity in their daily lives. The female recipient for the senior class meets all of the aforementioned criteria and more. I've said many times, and now once again, that this athlete has, in my opinion, been the most important person in relation to our team's success. In 3 years as an athlete on our team, she has helped lead our girls team to 4 Prep B championships and 2 non-public B state titles. She has finished first team all-county for each of her 2 cross-country seasons. She will go down as one of the best female distance runners in MKA history. Besides being an exceptional runner, This student exemplifies everything a coach would ever want out of a captain. She recruits students to come out for the team. She organizes captain's practices to make sure all athletes are training. She's a great liaison between the coaches and athletes, which allows the coaches to get an accurate pulse of team morale. Her advisor, Ms. Brown, states, she is respectful, friendly, outgoing, supportive, and just a great kid. She is a house captain this year for good reason. She is a warm and welcoming face to everyone she meets. I think her confidence in herself has grown since 9th grade. She is who I want my daughter to be like when she grows up. It is a great pleasure to announce that this year's Senior Female Klein Award recipient is Rebecca Herrick.
Showing up and doing the work is an attribute that all people need. Faculty have described this year's recipient as capable, confident, and a true leader. A hard worker who is also an active learner. As an athlete, few match the quality of his work ethic, production, and accolades. He took advantage of every opportunity to improve as a player. He participated in the summer league, fall league, and as anyone who arrives early to school can attest, he's in the gym working hard on his shooting and conditioning. He had the kind of season many dream of. He doubled his scoring and rebounding average. He had career high in points in our clinch of our conference championship game, including going 6 for 6 from the free throw line in the last 2 minutes to seal the win. In addition, he knocked down 2 big free throws at the end of our prep championship game to give us our first championship in 15 years. He was named first team for both SEC, Prep B, and was the recipient of the winter's Captain's Prize for all winter athletes. He has been a leader and an exemplar for the younger players in the program. We can all say he showed up and did the work successfully. It's certainly been an honor for me to see him grow into the man that he is, and the man of integrity he certainly is. Please join me in congratulating Isaac Wise as the recipient.
It's my pleasure to present the next award on behalf of Coach Chelsea Goss, who is currently coaching the girls lacrosse team at the non-public B state title. This year's recipient of the Al Staff Award is a 2-sport varsity athlete who has exemplified the true meaning of perseverance and determination in the face of adversity. Before transferring to MKA in 11th grade, this athlete suffered an injury to her right knee that required 4 different surgeries. However, she worked hard to rehabilitate her knee and get back on the field to play the sports she loves, field hockey and lacrosse. In her first field hockey season last year, she made an immediate impact, helping lead the team to a Prep B title. 2 games into her lacrosse season later that year, she tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus in her other knee, and was forced to miss the rest of the season and undergo a 5th surgery, missing her senior field hockey season as well. While injuries of this severity could knock the spirits of even the most elite players, this athlete never quit or gave up. Almost immediately after her surgery, she was in the rehab facility working to heal and rebuild her strength. There was absolutely nothing that would stop her from returning to the field for her senior lacrosse season. Her fire, tenacity, and passion paid off. She was able to put on her MKA uniform and step onto the lacrosse field for her final high school season this spring, lead her team to a Prep B state championship, and as we speak, a shot at the non-public B state title with, ironically, the torn meniscus in her left knee suffered earlier this year. Please help me to congratulate the recipient of the 2023 Al Staff Award, Cameron Leinhardt. The next few awards I'm presenting on behalf of Mr. Todd Smith, who is also present at the game that's happening right now. First up is the 2023 MKA Scholar Athletes. Every spring, the Essex County Athletic Directors Association and the New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association recognize the contributions of senior student athletes throughout Essex County and the state of New Jersey. Succeeding at a high level academically while still performing at your very best athletically is no easy task, especially with the academic demands that our students place on themselves here at MKA. The following seniors embody what being a true scholar athlete is and have achieved a high level of excellence in the classroom and on the athletic fields and courts. Please join me in congratulating the following scholar athletes, and I would ask that the student athletes stand to be recognized when I call their name. First up is the Essex County Scholar Athlete Award. Each year, the Essex County Athletic Directors Association selects a male and female recipient from each school in Essex County in recognition of their achievements in the classroom and within Essex County athletics. I am pleased to announce that this year's Essex County Scholar Athlete Award recipients are, first, Bella Douglas for varsity girls soccer. Bella will be continuing her soccer career at Boston College this fall. Second is Omar Martinez for varsity girls. Omar will be continuing his soccer career at Stevens Institute of Technology this fall. Bella and Omar were recognized at a dinner on May 9th at Nina's in the Park in Belleville, New Jersey. The NJSIAA Scholar Athlete Award recipient is given to that student athlete who has maintained no less than a 3.0 GPA and has exhibited outstanding school and community citizenship and has exhibited excellence in his or her chosen sport throughout their high school career. I am pleased to announce that this year's MKA recipient is varsity cross country and track and field captain Aiden Salaji. Aiden was honored at a lunch on May 21st at the Pines Manor in Edison, New Jersey. Next is the Yogi Berra Museum's Best Teammate Award. And I would also like to mention this particular award. This year's winner, Sophia Eichmann, for varsity field hockey and varsity lacrosse. Sophia was MKA's recipient of the Yogi Berra Museum Best Teammate Award and is given to the MKA team member who represents the very best of what being a teammate is all about. Sophia was recognized at a special event at the Yogi Berra Museum in Montclair on May 23rd. Next up is the 2023 MKA Varsity Award. In a day of sports specialization when club, travel, and select teams seem to dominate the adolescent sporting world, and more athletes participate in one or maybe two seasons of high school sports, it's great to see that high school team sports still matter and that the classic throwback three-sport athlete can still exist and be successful. Athletes who train year-round and represent their school at the highest level in all three seasons. The MKA Varsity Award recognizes senior athletes for their dedication, success, and achievement throughout the course of their MKA athletic careers. The MKA Varsity Award is given in recognition to those senior athletes who have received 10 or more varsity letters throughout their MKA athletic careers. This year we have 2 senior athletes who have achieved this illustrious honor and will receive the MKA Varsity Award. In soccer, cross country, swimming, and lacrosse, Lindsay Driver. Who is at the state lacrosse final. And in soccer, cross country, indoor track and field, Rebecca Herrick. It's ironic if it takes a while. And that was indoor track and track and field. So my apologies. I'm no Todd Smith. And last is the 2023 Spring Captains Award. The MKA Captains Award is given out each season to the MKA team captain who has exhibited the qualities that we look for in our team captains: leadership, dedication, respect, work ethic, and being a role model both on and off the field to their teammates and peers. Her coach writes, "Her presence is known and creates a safety among the team that calms the storm and makes every single player feel great about their chances on game day or in a practice. Her words are impactful, and even after a tough loss, she always knows exactly what to say and how to say it. She had the magic touch when dealing with her teammates and coaches and knows how to comfort, guide, and support. She is also one of the most courageous, perseverant athletes I've ever had the pleasure to coach. The coaches all see how she has matured throughout her journey here, and it is admirable. She is like our fourth coach on staff, always in the conversation, never talking about herself, always talking about the team and what we need to do in order to do better. She is consistent and her behavior never changes. She is positive and uplifting. She is honest and kind. She has shown the others what true leadership and commitment means and has enabled all of her teammates to become the very best versions of themselves. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the MKA Spring Captains Award, Senior Softball Captain Alex Barham.
The Presidential Volunteer Service Award is a national award that recognizes individuals that have achieved a certain standard measured by the number of hours of service over a 12-month period. Today, I am so pleased to honor Maddie Wheeler, who answered the call to service and transformed her own experiences and challenges into helping others. As a teenager coping with chronic health issues, Maddie met many people who were struggling with their own illnesses, and she wanted to do something for them. As she reflects, "I knew how alone I felt and wanted to do something that let other people struggling know that someone was thinking about them." And as she has done for several years now in support of Caps for Cancer, Maddie crocheted 74 hats to donate to the hospital for patients in need. She explains, "I knew I couldn't make them healthy, but I hoped that I could at least bring a smile to their faces. It makes me feel good knowing that I could brighten someone's day, even a little, especially knowing that when you're sick, you often feel alone and forgotten." In performing this service, Maddie has earned a Gold Presidential Service Award, and if you could see how beautiful and unique each hat was, you would agree that Maddie certainly brightened the days of many patients. We're so proud of you. Congratulations, Maddie. And now for the Senior Community Engagement Award. For every 1 hour that an MKA TV crew member spent filming and commentating on an MKA sporting event, this year's Community Engagement Award winner spent 2. Behind every game and special assembly, this young man was behind the scenes, selflessly giving up his time to ensure that MKA TV was thriving and that the important events happening here on campus were able to reach the widest of audiences. One of the most frequent visitors to my office, this year's award winner always presented new ideas for how to grow MKA TV, whether it was through humorous mic'd up Monday meeting shares, info sessions to garner additional student interest, or new gear for the team. Always polite, he nevertheless advocated tirelessly for MKA TV and its importance in our community. But this award winner's servant leadership extends outside MKA's walls as well. As a committed Eagle Scout, he has spent countless hours serving his community, marking off hiking trails in Eagle Rock Reservation, and building birdhouses, planter boxes, and benches for Wagner Farms. Most recently, he spent May term filming how-to videos for the younger students in his troop to help them on their own paths to become Eagle Scouts. Videos on topics such as setting up a shelter and building a fire. In the midst of all his good work, this student has also been awarded a Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award for the second year in a row for serving over 270 hours to the communities he is a part of. I am so very pleased to present the 2023 Community Engagement Award to Elliot Barada.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vince Camisa, and I represent the United States Military Academy at West Point. I'm the state coordinator of the all-volunteer organization that aids the director of admissions with the admissions process in New Jersey. We mentor and coach young people who wish to serve their country. At this point, I'd like to thank Remy Ronan's parents for molding their daughter into a woman of courage, character, and accomplishment. You'll be entrusting your daughter to West Point for the next 47 months and to the nation thereafter. As we honor her, we honor you. Over the next few days, tomorrow you'll be sitting at graduation. They're great times. In 2 weeks, Remy's going to go visit West Point, do her Beast Barracks training. She'll be indoctrinated into the West Point experience. You will lose your daughter to not only a college or university like everyone else, but you will lose her to West Point, our country, and to a nation of service. As everyone celebrates, you too will celebrate, but there will be a tug at your heart, mindful of the debt that all of us owe to so few. West Point was founded in 1802 by President Thomas Jefferson. The mission of West Point is to educate, train, and inspire the Corps of Cadets so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character, committed to the values of duty, honor, country, and prepared for a career of professional excellence and service to our nation as an officer in the United States Army. The destinies of our sons and daughters will be in your hands. Duty, honor, country. Duty is what we do, honor is how we do it, country is why we do it. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8, whom shall I send and who shall go before us? And I said, here I am, send me. In the commencement speech in 1962, John F. Kennedy imparted infinite wisdom on the soon-to-be graduates. He said, your military responsibilities will require versatility and adaptability never before required in war or peace. They will involve the command of more traditional forces, but in less traditional roles, risking your lives not as combatants, but as instructors and advisors. The non-military problems which you'll face will be most demanding. They'll be diplomatic, political, and economic in nature, and maybe all of the above. You'll serve to advisors to foreign governments. You'll have to understand the foreign policy of the United States and the foreign policy of other countries. Some countries weren't even in existence 20 years ago. You'll have to give orders in different tongues. You'll be involved in economic judgments that most PhDs would hesitate to make. You need to understand the importance of military power and also the limits of military power. Your posture and performance will provide the local population with the only evidence of what our country is really like. You will have one satisfaction though, however difficult those days may be, and they will be difficult, that when asked by the President of the United States or by any other citizen of our great country what you are doing for your country, no one's answers will be clearer than yours. Remy, I'll give you one bit of advice. I know I'm limited to 300 words, but take every day, one day at a time. Take every couple hours, a few hours at a time. They do want you to succeed. I'm sure at 10 o'clock that Sunday night, or Monday night, she's going to be saying, he lied to me. Upon graduation from West Point, you'll become a member of the noblest profession of the world, an officer in the United States Army. As an officer, you'll be entrusted with the responsibility of leading our sons and daughters around the world in these trying times. So it is important that all of us understand the magnitude of that responsibility, and that Remy Ronan has what it takes to succeed in West Point and our Army. Whom shall I send? Remy said, here I am, send me. So on behalf of the President of the United States, it will be a great pleasure to present to Remy Ronan the Certificate of Appointment to the United States Military Academy, Class of 2027.
Good evening, students, friends, and family members. It is my pleasure to announce the senior recipients of the Mary K. Waring Scholar and the Avery Barris Distinguished Scholar Awards for the 2022-2023 school year. These awards were created in 1999 and since then have been given annually to recognize scholastic achievement as quantified by each recipient's semester grades. They also attest to the recipient's strong work ethic, deep intellectual curiosity across disciplines, and unwavering dedication to their studies, which are qualities that will serve them well as they pursue scholarship and higher education. To begin, the Mary K. Waring Scholar Award is named for Miss Mary Kimberly Waring, who is the founder of the Kimberly School. Students who earn high honor roll in both semesters of a given school year earn this distinction. High honor designation is granted to students who have at least an A- in all graded courses. Students, as I call your names, please come forward to receive your certificate. The Mary K. Waring Scholars for the class of 2023 are Laura Altiers, Alana Clayton, Rebecca Herrick, Julian Huff, Nathaniel Johnson, Ava Copeland, Carolina Lucas, Julia Naruki, Morgan Riley, Aiden Salaji, and Isaac Weiss. To end, the Avery Barris Distinguished Scholar Award is named for William Avery Barris, who was an English teacher at Montclair Academy from 1928 to 1956. is awarded to those students who not only earn a high honor roll in both semesters of a given school year, but who also earn all A's in all courses, with no single semester grade of A- or below. Students, as I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate. The Avery Barris Distinguished Scholars for the class of 2023 are Michael Kai. Remy Ronan. Caroline Murphy. And Lucy Wexler. We're very proud of the scholars' exceptional academic achievement and hope that you continue to find joy in your learning and a sense of purpose as lifelong learners. Congratulations to all.
For most people from the outside, people think that a great house captain and their most important responsibility is to wear a tutu, a boa, or a poorly ventilated mascot costume and jump around and be silly in front of the whole school. Though important, the success of the house system is much more down to what happens behind the scenes than anything that actually happens up on stage on a Friday. The key characteristics in a great house captain is to be organized, reliable, and most importantly, to have a deep love of MKA and the house system itself. There's one house captain this year that embodied all of these key traits. From our first meeting last summer to field day, this person had an undying commitment and engagement on always doing these little things. They were always on top of the roster for every Friday competition, while at the same time were my point person for their house on the more involved synergies like Build-A-Boat, House Movie, and the lip sync competition. This person was always willing to go above and beyond, staying late to make sure we prepared well for our big fall event, the Gathering Games, while also never leaving on a Friday before every basketball was put away and every piece of confetti was picked up. However, though, it was really, truly one moment that set this person aside. All right, the Shark Tank new synergy was a success only because of this person's vision and commitment to make it happen. It gives me great pleasure to award this year's Glenn Medal to Tyler Eng.
I'm presenting the Scott M. Johnson Memorial Award for Rob Leather, who can't be here today. The winner of this year's Scott Johnson Award embodies the meaning of kindness and warm spirit. Whether it be his fist bumps down the hallway, his beaming smile, infectious laugh, or celebrating others, this student lives his life based on who he is and not what others can do for him. This organic and refreshing approach to life has made him a beloved student by peers and faculty alike. His spirit of friendship has enabled him to positively impact all spheres of our community and see him evolve as a vital force for the class of 23. His economics teacher, Mr. Cook, states, "He's the most resilient student I've ever taught, hands down. He works hard, is honest, and is a joy to work with. In class, he collaborates with anyone and everyone in a positive manner. He simply makes any group he is a part of better. The remarkable thing is he's only joined us as a junior. He has done more in 2 years than some students can only dream of doing in 4. His basketball coach, Mr. Tony Jones, describes him as egoless. This player was a big part of the positive changes in the team culture by simply being true to himself and putting his teammates' experience first, which was a big reason for our unprecedented success this year. He never thought he was bigger than the team. Our only complaint about him is that we would have loved to have more time with him. However, the time spent with us was wholesome and transformational. I'm honored to present this year's Scott M. Johnson Award to Marley Stewart.
I'm honored to represent the faculty today as I present the Timmons Scholarship. The student's experience can be thought of as the sum of many small moments, but we know that often the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Our recipient has quietly and humbly made his mark on the school. He put his best foot forward in the classroom by coming prepared to participate and engage, and in doing this consistently, he led by example. And as his English teacher stated, he encouraged others to do the same. His math teacher shared that one of this student's outstanding qualities was his ever-present positive attitude, one that he used often during the last weeks of school to keep his fellow classmates focused. His excitement, focus, and confidence are at work outside the classroom as well. In addition to his personal transformation as a runner, starting in middle school, his cross-country coach remembered a moment of incredible leadership when, as a captain, he focused on the needs of new freshmen rather than catching up with his friends. Perhaps his college counselor said it best. He's that awesome school citizen that everyone is so grateful to have in their classroom, advisor group, committee, or team. So how is it that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts? It's in leaving a place better than you found it. Whether it's the kindness shown to your classmates in AP Chemistry, your competitive spirit during the cahoots in AP Biology, or your work on the Student Ethics Committee, you have done just that. Please join me in congratulating Freddie Bishop.
This awardee is described by her current teachers as an imaginative and inspired artist, a beautiful writer who crafts profound written discussions, and a classroom discussion leader who engages in provocative and thoughtful dialogues with classmates. Though the 2019 version of her might be surprised to hear all of that. She has grown in so many tangible and intangible ways, blossoming before our eyes into the confident, insightful, and creative person we see today. It was a true metamorphosis. The core parts were always there, but now they are bright and visible as she has grown to show them and share them with our community. After a difficult hybrid 10th grade year, she returned in 11th grade, eager to get involved, challenge herself, and explore newly discovered passions. She has significantly increased the rigor of her course load since 9th grade, and her grades have impressively increased along with that rigor. She has grown into leadership roles, serving on GLC and as a peer leader this year. She created the 7 in 7 in GLC, a bi-monthly publication that covered 7 news stories from each of the 7 continents observed in the US. Teachers in 9th grade might have described her as quiet, though I never hear that word associated with her anymore. Now I hear about her reflective mindset, profound insights, and a willingness to explore. Her history project this year was so creative, her teacher will use it as a model for future years. And of course, all of her impressive work is done with her signature dry wit and sense of humor. I'm extraordinarily proud to present the Bud McKeel Memorial Award to Terry Kagiri.
I am honored to now present the 2023 Ferbert Memorial Award. In 2013, Dr. Jacobs and I traveled to Italy with Elliot Ferbert. An advanced Latin student, Elliot took advantage of this trip and immersed himself in the history of ancient Rome. And in examining more broadly his time here at MKA, it's clear that Elliot was similarly committed to taking advantage of every opportunity to grow as a student. This work ethic and eager acceptance for all opportunities at the upper school, seen in this year's Ferbert Award winner, is equally inspiring. Not content with the standard course load, she eagerly signed up for biomechanics and physiology to complement her AP biology course, because this is an area of interest for her future plans in medicine. And this interest is evident in all her work. Teachers describe her as demonstrating a serious and dedicated approach, and as a student who seeks information independently. Her history teacher adds that applying a work on sociobiology to the contemporary political spectrum is certainly not an easy task, but she made it look like one. Always willing to stretch herself and look a challenge squarely in the eye, she persevered when the math problems grew more challenging, when the writing assignment demanded more detail, when the research paper required more sophistication, and when the fencing matches called for more practice time. These challenges were accepted and embraced. Ultimately, this student stands out for a superior work ethic and an appetite for challenge, and she demonstrates her appreciation for the opportunities she's presented by stepping confidently right into them. Congratulations to this year's Ferbert Memorial Award winner, Alana Clayton.
Almost home. 5-3 MKA, which is a couple minutes left in the first half, but I'm paying attention to what's happening here. Okay. We've arrived at that portion of our program where we present the commencement awards. The tradition of these awards dates back almost 75 years, each having its own special meaning and significance to the Kimberly School, Montclair Academy, and MKA. The Spur and Easter Awards memorialize great women from the Kimberly School. The Deachin Award is named for a long-standing family with roots that go back to Montclair Academy and stretch to the present day. The Hemeter Award is given in memory of a beloved Montclair Academy and MKA faculty member. And the Greer Award, our most recent addition, recognizes the founder of our character education program that is the hallmark of this institution, and is presented to an 8th grader and a 12th grader each year. I am honored solely through position to present these awards, acting as an extension of the faculty who deliberated many hours to select the winners. These and all awards given today will be listed in tomorrow's commencement program. The Female Deachin Award. A 3-time faculty scholar and winner of the McVicker Prize and Klein Award, the winner of the Female Deachin Award possesses the scholarship, athletic prowess, and strength of character this award embodies. A leader in every sense of the word, she has garnered the respect of her teachers, coaches, and peers inside and outside the classroom. Her teachers describe her as the student you hope to meet when you walk into any classroom. She is a joyful and curious learner who thinks critically and creatively, asks insightful questions, and shares her findings, making the class an intellectually stimulating environment. While she takes her individual learning seriously, she's also a master collaborator who works cooperatively in groups and motivates others. She helps her classes gel, attacks problems together, and elevate toward the higher truth possible when agile young minds work together and take each other seriously. As she does this, all the while keeping things light. As one of her teachers said, and as any of her coaches or peers might echo, this is why school seems so much better when she's around. She's on the Honor Council, a peer leader, a two-time varsity captain, a co-chair of the Student Athletic Council, a member of the Alcohol Awareness and Carbon Neutrality Committees, and she's given her time to Tony's Soup Kitchen. Whatever our awardee takes on, she does so with 100% effort. This is no more embodied than on the athletic field, where she has led both her teams to prep championships in field hockey and lacrosse. She never misses team events, including the off-season. Once committed, she never skips, cancels, or takes shortcuts. Her results speak for themselves, with all prep, all county, and all state honors abound. Maybe adding another tonight. I'm pleased to present the Female Deacon Award to Caroline Murphy. One of Teddy Roosevelt's most famous quotes is about the man in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that this place shall never be with the cold, so his place will never be with the cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Our winner of the Male Deacon Award hasn't known a lot of failures, but he certainly enjoys being in the arena. He's a peer leader, a catalyst in class, and a college-bound college athlete. He's won the Klein Award and this year's Fall Captain's Prize, and he's the co-chair of the Student Athletic Council. He cares a lot about being a good student, but for him, it's much more about the learning than the grades. His teachers describe him as an extremely hard worker, super polite, and not hyper-focused on grades. His football coach said, as a captain and important member of our team, our awardee was a role model for younger players. His impact on our program was enormous, and I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to coach him. He's a strong leader, both verbally and by example. He's respectful of his coaches, and he has the respect of all of his teammates. And his work ethic is as good as I've seen at the high school level. His lacrosse coach said, it's our awardee's genuine nature and personality that make him such a terrific leader and teammate. He's a young man of unquestionable character, and I'm pleased to present the Male Deacon Award to Jordan Fishback. The Easter Award is given to that senior who, principally behind the scenes, meaning without holding a major leadership position, makes the school a better place. Well, our awardee has done just that in a remarkably short period of time. As a matter of fact, I can't tell you how extremely rare it is to win a commencement award, having not had more than 2 years to establish yourself here at the upper school. Our awardee is a rare combination of emotional maturity, intellectual curiosity, and generosity of mind and spirit. She loves literature and art, both absorbing them and creating her own. She shared her love and passion with this community selflessly, especially this year, encouraging others to do the same in her unassuming and unpretentious way. One of the joys of my year was watching this young woman share her work with the greater Montclair community at the Montclair Literary Festival. She quite clearly knows who she is, and she's completely comfortable in a way that leaves many of us awestruck. I've affectionately referred to her as the adult in the room, even when there were other adults in the room. Her mature thoughtfulness and literary aura have graced our halls and set the bar high. It'll be hard to replace her talent and her grace. She's the co-founder and leader of our Pros and Cons Club, a writing workshop that meets each week to collaborate on all forms of writing shared by members and invited guests. She's graced our stages, both front and back, and has proved that no matter where you start or when you start, you can make an immediate and lasting impact on our community. I'm pleased to present the Marjorie Winfield Easter Award to Logan. Prior winners of the Hemeter Award all have at least two things in common: an insatiable appetite for intellectual pursuits that go beyond the classroom, and a Renaissance quality that makes those around them wonder how they can be so good at so many things with such ease. Like Bob, our prior winners of this award are intellectual standouts, one that separate themselves in the classroom through their academic interests and zest for life. And then there's this year's recipient. Our awardee is one of those rare students who can walk through the door on day one of any class with a wealth of knowledge about the field while also realizing there is still a great deal to learn. He's fascinated by discovering other countries, cultures, and civilizations, and has developed a passion for political institutions, government, economics, sociology, urban planning, and architecture. Just ask him about the architecture of Chicago. He thrives on negotiation and debate, seeking to understand and be understood whenever he has the opportunity to explore a complex or difficult topic. Our school, if it is to remain true to our mission of intellectual independence and understanding of human complexity, needs more of our awardee in them. Just listen to him commentate an athletic event for MKA TV, or debate the mysteries of the world, or read one of the many articles he wrote for his Mayterm project, covering everything from South African insurance companies and the money market effects of reverse repurchase agreements. You'll encounter a young man who is fully engaged with the world, just like Bob. It gives me great pleasure to present the Robert C. Hemeter Award to Nick Baum. The citation for the Spur Award calls on the faculty to find that member of the senior class who gives unstintingly of self for the betterment of the school and the people in it. A recipient of the Spur Award simply gets people. She reads the social dynamics around her and picks up on subtle cues and signals that elude others, using her high levels of emotional intelligence to engage with and support those around her, all the while giving unstintingly of self. She's gifted intellectually and emotionally, and she has a fierce determination to succeed, along with a deep well of resilience. With her sharp wit, her enviable self-knowledge, and her willingness to engage with others, she endears others to her, seemingly with little effort, although we all know better. A two-time faculty scholar, co-chair of our Student Diversity Leadership Committee and Global Experiences Committee, and a participant in the Blackfeet Reservation trip to Montana, a recipient cares for people and uses her intelligence to help create experiences where others can exercise social justice and awareness. A proactive and intentional caregiver to those in this community and outside it, a recipient has been described as a leader of leaders and a passionate connector, continually committing herself to forging authentic bonds with and among her classmates with fervor and attentive care. She embodies that care in the classroom as well. She listens to others, asks great questions, and pushes her classmates to make course material relevant. Her teachers have described her as a mixture of sophisticated thinking and serious application, yet she can still have fun and approach class in a very real way. I'd say she makes us better, and she's a really good lawyer too. It gives me great pleasure to present the Ethel M. Spur Award to Carolina Lucas. The Dr. Peter R. Greer Award is given annually to that member of the senior class who, in the eyes of the faculty, has demonstrated exceptional character. This year's recipient, like those before her, embraces the Socratic principle, know thyself, and embodies virtues including honesty, generosity, kindness, and respect. Perhaps more extraordinary is her uncanny ability to brighten the light of those around her, even in the midst of her own darkness. Her high school experience was anything but ordinary. Well, none of your high school experiences in the midst of a pandemic were ordinary, but she had the double whammy of a rare kidney disorder and Hodgkin's lymphoma, which put her in and out of hospitals, on dialysis and chemo treatments, and out of school from the middle of April of 2022 until January of this year. During her time away, she started an Instagram page, Road to Recovery 111, which chronicled her story from the beginning of her illness. Was this page a bit cathartic for her? Probably. But it was more about other people, which, if you know our awardee, shouldn't surprise you. She shares her story in an authentic and transparent way, the real of real life. She courageously admits to her fears, and she reminds her followers, of which there are currently more than 1,600, that it's okay not to be okay. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you take a look at it. Road to Recovery 111. But before all this, it was clear to the people in this community, from the get-go, that she was everyone's friend. Her power to connect with people, her peers and teachers alike, is electric, blinding us with her light. She's honest, generous, kind, and respectful, and she certainly knows herself. And isn't that what this award is all about? I'm honored to present the Peter R. Greer Award for Character to Morgan Dector.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. To the faculty, staff, and administrators in the upper school that played such an intimate role in designing this evening and sharing your perspectives and your thoughts about all the seniors here, I'm deeply grateful. Hearing the paragraphs recognizing the unique characteristics and attributes of the students is a highlight for me here at MKA. Obviously, this is my second year, and I really look forward to this time. That ability is embedded in the second sentence of our mission. This faculty, this community knows our kids. I was a bit almost overwhelmed because in a lot of the descriptions, after about the first or second sentence, I knew exactly who was being spoken about. There's a certain clarity, a certain perceptiveness that I am, as a head of school, deeply appreciative of, and that's only possible because of the relationships that this faculty has with the students here. To you seniors who've been recognized here tonight, congratulations. Your academic, athletic, artistic, service, community, and leadership accomplishments have collectively propelled our intellectual life forward. Consider this advice. Stay humble. Research suggests that learning and growing is dynamically linked to intrinsic drive and motivation, more so than extrinsic systems of validation. Tonight, you've been honored, and deservedly so. Tomorrow, maybe you'll earn a Fulbright or a Rhodes Scholarship, or maybe not. Maybe you'll earn a Nobel Prize, or maybe not. Maybe you'll get that dream job on the first try, or maybe not. Stay humble. Seniors, you have inverted the final line of our school's mission, which is that MKA's diverse, collaborative, and inclusive community inspires students to lead lives of noble character, purpose, and distinction. But the honors that you've received tonight suggest that you have, in your own way, inspired one another in the MKA community. Thank you.